All right. Yes, sir. Okay, I'm going to start. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am Dr. Qandeel Almas, and I am here for a session on the statement of purpose. Uh, Before we get into the session, let me introduce myself. I did my bachelor's and master's in chemical engineering from UAT Lahore in 2005 and 2013. And then I joined UAT Lahore as a lecturer in 2010 and worked there for some time. And in the meantime, I applied for the Fulbright PhD scholarship. And I was awarded the scholarship in 2014. Then I went to Georgia Tech in 2015 to do my PhD in chemical engineering. And afterwards, I came back and joined LUMS as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry and Chemical Engineering. And I have been working here since then. Um, if at any point any of you is not able to hear me, please let me know so that we can conduct the session in a proper way and you all can get the information required. So, what is the Fulbright program? The Fulbright program was established in 1946 by the Department of State in the United States of America. And in Pakistan, this is handled by the United States Educational Foundation in Pakistan. And HEC supports the USEFP for the PhD students. And the Fulbright program provides full funding for graduate studies in the United States. It covers your tuition, textbooks, airfare, living stipend, health insurance, and conference attendance. And they also assist with the visa processing, but they do not guarantee the visa approval of although. So in the Fulbright program, you have to have 16 years of formal education, whether it's bachelor's or bachelor's per master's if you want to apply for a master's degree. And then for PhD, you need 18 years of formal education, which includes a bachelor's plus master's or MPhil in your required field. And all of the fields except clinical medicine are sponsored or provided scholarship, and you get priority for fields like energy, water, health, etc. You have to be a Pakistani citizen and committed to returning to Pakistan after your completion of the Fulbright program. I see a hand being raised multiple times. If you have any question, please, you can ask. Okay. So let's get on to the grad school applications. So whenever you are applying for the Fulbright program, you have to submit a full application package that is the same way as you apply to any grad school on your own. Your application package consists of a GRE journal test, which is computer based. So you need to provide your GRE scores um, to the through the application portal, and the GRE scores are valid for 5 years. So whenever you are applying for Fulbright, you have to make sure that your GRE scores are valid, and they will be valid for another couple of years after you apply. Then, based on the program that you are selecting and the university that you are going to, you may also need to take a GRE subject test. For example, if you are applying to chemistry or physics or math or some other domain which has dedicated GRE subject test, then you also need to apply that. So whenever you are mentioning the university preferences in the Fulbright application, you have to make sure that you have covered all the application requirements for that university as well. Then you need an English proficiency test. Since you are going to the US and you will be communicating in English, you need to show that you are proficient enough to communicate both in the oral and written forms. So TOEFL is the required test, but at the point USEFP only requires you to take the TOEFL if you have been selected for the Fulbright scholarship. So these English proficiency tests are also valid for 2 years. So make sure you take it at an appropriate time so that it's valid when you are applying for the scholarship and by the time you are going abroad for higher studies. Then comes 3 recommendation letters. You will find uh, the letter template in the application package. You have to submit those letters along with your application package. Personal statement, and then you have the statement of purpose, then which is the focus of this session. Then you have the research statement. You also have to include your CV or resume in your application. You have to include all of your transcripts for undergraduate and graduate institutions, and they should be uh, official documents, not the online documents that you can get from your university portal. So these transcripts and degrees should be the officially given out by the university. And then you all compile all this application package, you fill out the application form at the USEFP, and then you submit all these documents within the deadline. So once all of these things are done, your application goes through to the Fulbright and the USEFP, and they will go through the whole detail to see whether you are eligible for the program or not. So our session will be focused on the statement of purpose, also known as SOP. So what is this SOP? This is an integral part of your application package, whether you're applying for the master's or the PhD program. A statement of purpose is a document where you explain why you want to pursue a particular field or program and how your academic background and future goals align with it. So taking the back knowledge and going forward to the what you are going to do in the future, all of these things have to be included in your SOP. So let's go over the details, what a statement of purpose should include and how you should write it. So what should be included in an SOP? You have to include what you want to do academically as well as professionally. So you have to start with your academic preparation and coursework, what you have done so far, what academic courses, trainings, degrees that you have done that will add up to and build up to what you are going to do in the grad school. If, for example, you want to pursue any degree in English literature, you have to show some relevant coursework. For example, you did a master's in English literature and did XYZ courses, which were on the same field, and some were like high level courses, grad level courses, and you all of these things will add up to your application that I have the relevant background to tackle the courses in the grad school. Yeah, to highlight if you have taken any challenging or advanced level courses even in your undergrad degree, because that will really show that you are ready for the challenging grad school education. If, for example, you want to change your field of study, like you are going from A field to B field, you still have to show that you are prepared for taking up the new field. You have to show maybe some trainings or short courses that you have done, or any other work that can lead up to building a foundation that you are ready for the XYZ field, even if it's different from your previous degrees. You also should mention any projects or skills and publications that you have done. If you have done any projects within your undergrad or grad studies, highlight those things. If you have done any publications, research papers, conference presentations, even if you have written in magazines or papers or any other thing, or even uh, blogs or those things, just mention those because they show that you have gone beyond the academic domain to applying your knowledge and skills in some professional way or disseminated your knowledge to the public. If you have done some trainings or taken some courses or done some any other skill development courses where you have learned any tools or softwares that will be academically and professionally relevant to your degree, do highlight those. But make sure that you are not going into too much detail and too much technical detail, because whoever is reading the SOP may not be from the same domain as yours and may not actually understand all of the information that you are saying. But you should tie it up nicely so that any person who is not from the same field as yours can still understand and see what contributions you have done in your field. So once you have shown your academic and preparedness and coursework and skills, publications, then you move on to your professional experiences. Have you done any workshops? Have you done any internships? Are you working in the field in a professional way? If so, mention those things in a nice way, because they can show that you don't only have the academic knowledge, but also you have the professional and field experience of that degree that will highlight that you are not just a bookworm. You know the practicalities of the field, and you can apply that practical knowledge as well in your grad studies. And when you are done with all of these things, you have to show what is your specific interest in the grad school. What is it that you want to pursue going forward? And when I say specific, it means that you have to pinpoint the exact thing that you want to do. If you want to pursue English literature, you just don't write that I want to pursue a degree in English literature. It's very vague and very generic. Instead, you can mention that maybe I want to, for example, I want to pursue a master's degree in learning how contemporary poems have changed over the last 10 years, or how the science fiction has evolved post COVID, something like that. So you have to be very specific about what you want to do, because a generic statement will tell that you have not done enough research and you don't know what you are talking about. But when you are specific about your research interest and future directions, it tells the reader that you have done your research, you know what you are talking about, and you have some plans in order to accomplish what you are trying to accomplish. And then you have to tie up all this to the grad school that you are applying to. So whenever you are applying to the Fulbright program, you mention a few schools that you prefer to want to go, and you have to mention them according to your research interest. You cannot mention a school which has no program related to what you are applying for. So you have to tie all of your previous knowledge, your experiences, and your interest into the program that you are applying for. Do they have the right faculty which can guide you? Do they have the right coursework and degree program that you are intending to do? And how will that program tie up with all the things that you have done so far and take you a step further in your grad school? So you have to tie all these things together, and you have to spend some time in this domain, that you have to search through different schools. You have to see what the faculty is doing, what they are offering. If you want to go, for example, in the field of simulation of a chemical process plant, then you have to say that if you are going to a certain school, they have the faculty who is working on the same domain. Otherwise, you won't be able to, like, probably you won't be selected into that school, and you won't get, even if you're selected, you may not get the research area that you want to work in. So that will just create a problem for you down the lane. So do your research before sending an application to Fulbright. Just don't randomly put universities in that, okay, these are the top universities, so I'm just going to put that in, whether they are offering my area or not, or whether they're relevant or not. Don't do that. And lastly, you have to mention your long-term career goals, what you want to do after you are done with your grad studies, because the Fulbright program is a two-way program. You go abroad, you go to the USA, you do your grad school, you do research, you learn things, and you then come back to Pakistan and apply that knowledge. So you have to be very clear about your long-term career goals. What are you planning to do after you have done your grad school studies? What will you do here in Pakistan? How will the country benefit from your education and experience? And this will tell the Fulbright organization that whether you should be a good fit for the Fulbright program or not, because all of the knowledge and expertise and experience that you are learning from the US, you need to apply that back in Pakistan and enrich the country with your knowledge. So many times it happens that people write about their past, their academics, their research interests, but they forget about the long-term goals. You have to mention that what you are going to do after you are done with your studies, within 5 years, within 10 years, something like that. But you have to clearly mention this thing that how the country will benefit from your education in the United States. So once you have written this SOP, you put it into your application and then you send it to the application to USEFP. They will read it. The admission committee later on will read it when USEFP will apply on your behalf. And how will they use your SOP to evaluate you? First of all, they will see whether you are ready for the grad school or not. Have you taken the required courses? Have you taken any practical experiences? Are you fit with the program or not? And are you clear and specific about your goals or not? You cannot just randomly throw words in there. For example, today I see that there are a lot of people going in the field of AI. It's um, a lot of people are interested in it. That is fine. But if you don't know it and just want to do it because everyone else is doing it, that will show that you are not clear about your goals. You just throwing things or in research areas in it because that's like um, in focus or in um, how should I say it, in fashion these days. So don't do those things. Don't just follow some area because other people are doing it as for someone else said that you should do it. So these admission committee, excuse me, the people in the admission committee can know right away whether you have done your research or you are just putting words in just where you heard. Second thing, which I can tell you from experience, is that these admission committees get hundreds of SAPs every single admission cycle. USEFP gets thousands of applications every year. So if you are not engaging your reader from the very beginning, they are not going to read your whole SOP. SOPs are typically 2 to 3 pages long, and if you have just rambled on different things and vague statements or incoherent things, they are not going to catch the interest of the reader, and they will not. You will not get a positive review. So you have to be very clear about your goals and what you are talking about. You have to be very, very specific. Don't go about saying vague statements for on and on and just trying to like say the same thing over and over. Don't do that thing. You have to show commitment. You have to show motivation. You have to be very, very specific and show your readiness for the grad school. That will all tie up from your academic background and your professional experiences. And from professional experience, I should highlight that instead of doing random 1 month, 2 month short internships here and there and getting certificates for them, it's important to learn skills. So if you have one internship or one experience that was like a few months long, but you developed a few skills in that, that will be much more beneficial than random 1 month, 4 weeks, 3 weeks internships here and there, which didn't teach you anything. So focus on getting experiences that will actually build up on your skills. And then SOP is all written in English. The admission committee will judge your writing, communication skills, and your analytical skills through that document. So if you have any grammatical errors, if your sentences end or start abruptly, they do not have a flow or thought process behind them, they will just show the admission committee that you are not, you didn't put in any effort in your writing the SOP, and that doesn't create a good image. And then lastly, when you show your research interest and show that what some XYZ universities are good fit, they will also see your research interest and see if their university or certain universities will be reasonable for your fit or not. Whether they have the same faculty, they have the faculty that is relevant for your research areas, whether they have the required facilities to facilitate your research, and then the departmental culture is very important. No one wants a person who will just sit in a corner and do their own work. Every university internationally, like good universities, they want people who will interact with others, teach others, learn from others, and do a two-way collaboration. So make sure that your SOP shows that you are a team player, you are a team leader, and you are willing to work with people under different situations. Show that if you have any such experiences where you managed a team or worked within a team as a team player, do highlight those experiences because it will tell you that you are a team player and you will bring positivity to their departmental culture. And of course, you will upload your transcripts and CVs, but your SOP will tell you who you are as a person and as an academic beyond your grades and CVs. So don't be boastful in your SAP. Don't exaggerate things, but mention your academic and professional experiences very clearly and factually. Don't use buzzwords. Don't try to sound very articulate and use big words just to show that you have knowledge of English language. Don't do these things. The admission committees can pick right away whether someone is being boastful and exaggerating or if someone is being truthful. So try to create a positive impact on the reader through your SOP. Um, in the SOP, the flow of information is important. How you present your ideas is important. So I will take the example of William Shakespeare. He was born in 1564. He wrote Hamlet in 1600 and he died in 1616. So this is the logical flow of information that he was born, he wrote a piece, and he died. But if you take it the other way, that he was born in 1564 and he died in 1660, but before dying, he wrote Hamlet in 1600, that just shows that your information is disconnected. So make sure you don't do this in your SOP. I will show you an example from one of my students. So what he did was, in his original SOP, when he gave it to me to read it, he did project A in summer 2020, then project B in fall of the same year. Next year, he did project A again, and then project B. So he did the same thing. He wrote his experience in the same with the SOP. I did project A, B. And when I was reading it, I was like, why is he going back and forth with the same thing? So it was very confusing to follow, and it was very redundant as well because he was mentioning the same things again and again about project A and B in those different paragraphs. And then he mentioned that due to certain reasons, he wanted to go in the direction of project B in his future studies. So what I suggested him was that make chunks, have project A in summer of XYZ years, and then mention project B in the fall of XYZ years. Instead of repeating things again in four paragraphs, consolidate them in two and have a logical flow, not in terms of year and timeline, but in terms of the projects that he has done. It was more clear when he rewrote his SOP, because then I could follow that this was project A's chunk and he didn't like it, and then this was project B's chunk, which he liked working on, and that's why he wants to pursue on this direction. So that was nothing was going back and forth. So when you are writing your SOP, be mindful about this thing. You don't have to follow a chronological order if that's creating a confusion. You can chunk things up based on the things that you have done. You can chunk paragraphs in that form. So you should, but at the same time, it shouldn't be overly convoluted that you are like not following chronology in too much way. For example, you don't start with your master's and then go to bachelor's. Don't do that. So follow that order that you are indicating your previous knowledge in the bachelor's and then probably in the master's and professional life, and then build on that. So just make sure that not the chronological order is not always the best way to go about it, but you have to see how the information flows well and is easy to read and follow for the reader. And in this domain, and in at this point, I would like to suggest that whenever you write your SOP or any other document, ask someone to read it for you, because sometimes we miss things that we are writing ourselves and someone else is able to pick on those very effectively. So get help when you are writing an SOP or any other document for that purpose, for that matter, for the application process. Okay, so I have covered what you should include in the SOP, and now I will cover what you should not include in the SOP. First of all, don't write a personal life story. Reserve that for the personal statement. I'm not sure if USEFP requires a personal statement at the moment, but SOP is definitely a part of the package. But many universities do require a personal statement as well, where you write your more personal story and what motivated you to pursue the research direction. Statement of purpose is not for that purpose. You can don't write your personal life story in it. Write your academic and professional life story in it. And start from the very beginning and show program fit. Your SOP will be judged from the first few sentences. If you don't be you're not specific and show what your interests are, you probably will lose the reader's engagement, and interest. So be very specific from the very start to show what you want to do and why you want to do it. Then don't be vague or generic. Again, as I said, you shouldn't write that I want to pursue a degree in physics. That's a very, very big domain. Like it's the whole subject. So don't be generic. Don't write that I want to pursue a degree in English literature or pursue a degree in chemical engineering or chemistry. No, take a problem statement. Be specific about it. I want to address or I want to do research on or understand the immune system after COVID or how memory works after a person is affected by COVID, or if how poems have changed in the last 10 years, or how the modern art has evolved in the last 10 years, something like that. So you have to be very specific, and you shouldn't be writing any vague or generic statements in your SOP, because that will just show that you haven't done your research and you have no idea what you are talking about. And don't repeat your CV. Your CV is there to show all of your accomplishments, but the SOP, you have to go a little beyond and dig deeper into what you have accomplished. So just don't repeat that I have done this, 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 this. Tell them what you have learned over the time, what experiences you have gained over the time, and how they are useful for your grad school application. One very important thing, don't exaggerate or make unsupported claims. Writing big words, making claims that are false, exaggerating what you have done does not create a good impression. I remember getting an application for a position, and someone had written um, actively participated in observing an XYZ training. So that was just a boastful statement, that actively participating and observing, which makes no sense at all. So readers and admission committees can pick on these things right away, and that does not create a very good impression. This just shows that you are trying to show that you are making big claims or using big words just to impress the other person. And actually, this is not a big thing that you have done. You were just trying to exaggerate and show that you have done a very interesting thing or big thing, which you haven't done. So don't do these things. And one very important thing is, do not criticize previous institutions, supervisors, or experiences. I'm not saying that you didn't have a bad experience, but it's your side of the story. And if you're telling it to a new person, an unknown entity, and you're saying that this XYZ institute made me suffer for XYZ reasons, my previous professor was not good, he was very strict to me, or he insulted me, and things like that, it will create an impression that you are okay with bad mouthing others. And if you're bad mouthing others, you may bad mouth your next institution and supervisor experiences. So don't do that. You don't have to stand on the bodies of other to make yourself tall, right? Be positive, highlight the good things, but don't criticize previous institutions, experiences, peers, or supervisors, because that will tell that you are um, not a positive person. You are probably a spiteful person who is taking this opportunity to badmouth others. And it never pays well. These things never pay well. Important, very important thing. Don't copy templates. You Google SOP and you will get like thousands of templates and thousands of SOPs written by other people. Just don't copy them. Admission committees and readers can tell right away if you have copied a template, because that won't be original. Your SOP has to be original, and it has to come from your own experiences and your own personal life and professional life. Um, copy, Copying templates will flag you for plagiarism and get you out of the application process right away, and they may like blacklist you for future as well. So don't copy templates, and don't make spelling or grammar errors. As I mentioned, these admission committees judge your communication skills through your SOP. So if you have spelling mistakes, you have grammatical errors, if you have convoluted, difficult sentences, if you don't have a right flow of information and sentences in your SOP, that will just tell that you are not good in communication skills and you are not ready to You don't know how to communicate your thoughts, research thought, professionals in professional settings. So don't do these things. You know that the Word has this built-in option for correcting spelling mistakes. It also guides you if you have any grammatical errors. Then you have extensions of like Grammarly that can also guide you in making small adjustments if your sentences are not clear, if you have spelling or grammatical errors, it highlights those things. So make use of these tools and again, ask someone to read your SOP or any other document that you have written so that you can point out mistakes. And one thing that I have learned from experience is that sometimes you overlook things in the Word file. Convert it into PDF and then see. You will start seeing mistakes. You will see if there is another extra full stop or commas in your sentences, if there are weird breaks, if the words don't look fine, you will start picking out right away in the PDF form. That's what I have experienced over time. Also, if you take a print out of it instead of reading on the screen, you will start noticing your mistakes. You will start highlighting things that, okay, this is not something that I should have written, or this looks too long and I should break it into two sentences and whatnot. So take a print and read your own statements. If you cannot take a print, just convert it into PDF and then start reading again. And I'm sure you will find mistakes and issues in your document that you can correct before sending it to the for the application package. And don't be afraid to get help. You can ask your peers. You can ask your professional advisors. You can ask your academic advisors for help. Have someone else read your files or read your statements with a fresh eye. Those people will be able to tell you the mistakes or the issues that you have if your flow of information is correct or not. So don't be afraid to ask for help. And um, they also be like other faculty which you haven't worked with, but they can still be helpful to you in this domain. So do make use of these resources and don't copy templates or copy someone else's SOP that will just flag you for plagiarism and get you blacklisted. As I mentioned, some people can confuse personal statement and statement of purpose. Be mindful that the statement of purpose is your academic journey, whereas your personal statement is your personal journey and contains life events that shape your academic direction, your personal story, and defining experiences that led you to the point that you are here, your personal qualities, values, and reflections, and challenges that you have overcome, and why you want to pursue a certain field. These all things come into personal statement where you are telling your personal story. They do not go into the statement of purpose. So don't make this mistake. Don't mix these two statements together. Be mindful about this thing. Last but not the least, we have AI tools everywhere. So, what does that mean for creative writing in the age of AI? Many of the tools that we currently use in routine are, I think, ChatGPT is top of the list because the free version can do a lot of things for you. Gemini is another, and some other tools are out there which can, where even the free versions can get you a lot of help. So, what should you do with AI in when you are doing some creative writing? So, what has changed due to the advancement of AI? You can generate essays very quickly. You can tell it a statement and it will write a whole essay for you. You can tell it that I want a 300-word SOP. It will write an SOP for you. It will write poems and stories for you, but it will not be personalized. The AI tools have generic writing templates. They will write those things on those templates. It will all be same. 10 people will ask it to write the SOP. Those SOPs are going to be similar. There will be very less difference in the content. And there will be difference in the content because of the information you have fed, but the flow of information and the structure is going to be very similar. So that will just tell that it's not authentic. It's not personalized essay. And that gets flagged very easily. It doesn't have an authentic voice. It doesn't have critical insights, critical thinking skills. It doesn't have those things which a person has. It has structure and fluency, but it cannot live your experiences, your purpose, what you went through, what you have learned and acquired over the years. So AI tools can do a lot for you, but they cannot be you or copy your experiences. So be very mindful when you are using AI tools in your life. What matters the most or still matters is that your original thinking, how you critically analyze and reflect on your ideas and your experiences, how you present them, what is your personal voice, all of these things matter much more than having a perfectly crafted SOP. Your original SOPs may have uh, some issues here and there, but they will be original. They don't, no SOP is probably perfect because perfection doesn't exist. So you shouldn't be concerned about writing the perfect SOP. There is no such thing. Try to be original and personal and professional. They can AI tools can write your text, but they cannot replace your thinking, your critical analysis, your experiences, intentions, and originality. Don't use AI to write your SOP for you. It will get flagged very easily, and it will create a very bad impression on your overall application process. But knowing that AI is everywhere, you can still use AI positively and ethically to improve your SOP, not write it for you, right? So you can ask it to organize your structure. You can write an SOP and ask AI to critique your SOP for you. You can ask it for ideas to how to improve structure, how to improve clarity, how to improve your sentences, the flow of information. If you have written like 3 paragraphs, you can ask AI to pick out where redundancy is, if the sentences are clearly connected with each other, if there are any gaps that it can identify for you to fill, and then write those gaps or fill those gaps and issues yourself. You can use AI as a helper to critique your SOP or any other statement. Don't ask it to write your statements because it cannot do it for you. It will do it for you, but it shouldn't be. But it will not be the personal version of your SOP or research statement or any other statement that you are writing. You can also use AI to compare versions. Like you have written 2 versions and you can ask AI which one is better or how you can improve the version that you have and make it better for the application process. So use these tools for your benefit in an ethical way. Don't use them to replace you. Use them to augment you and your skills. So people use AI all the time, and that is fine. But as long as you are using it ethically, it's okay. So use these tools, even Grammarly or the built-in tools in Word or ChatGPT or any other AI tool to improve yourself, not be you, right? So these things can really help, especially when you are bridging gaps, you are organizing the flow of information and all those things. So these tools can help you in removing those issues from your SOP. Um, so yeah, ask AI to critique your statement, suggest ideas for improvement, how to make, how to identify gaps and refine the flow of information, and especially check grammar and tone so that you are not you don't sound overly aggressive or too submissive or negative or positive overly in any direction. So you can use these tools, AI tools, to help you improve your SOP. So with that, I will like to summarize this whole session. So the statement of purpose, you want to mention what you have done so far, what are the academic courses you have taken, what are your experiences and skills in the relevant domain, what you want to focus on in the future in the research interest, how that specific university ties up with those research interests, and what are your future goals when you are done with your grad school coming back to Pakistan. So keep Pakistan in mind. You have to focus your goals, future goals, keeping Pakistan in mind. And your whole SOP should be very formal and academic and professional setting, not in a personal setting, because that is a personal statement. So your SOP should be formal and academic and professionally directed statement. Ask someone to read it for you, get help where you are stuck, use resources effectively and ethically so that you can improve on your SOPs, and make sure that you submit everything in time to the USEFP so that your application can be processed. With this, I would like to thank you for your attendance and listening to me. And if there are any questions, I will be happy to take them. So we have a few questions in the QA. Um, if we use AI as a grammar checking tool, does it count as plagiarism? I don't think it will be count as plagiarism. You are asking it to see if your grammar is correct. It should tell you that these sections are where the grammar issue is. It should not rewrite your whole SOP for you. So yeah. Any other question? Can the recording of the session be available? I think it should be available. USCFP probably will share it somewhere on their, yeah. So yes, they will upload it on their social media accounts. Anji, any other questions? Okay, the question is, what is you never miss writing an SOP? I don't get your question. Sorry. Can you please elaborate? Like personal storytelling. Yes. Don't write your personal story in the SOP. Uh, Leave it for the personal statement. So there are two statements that you have to write. The personal statement where your personal story comes in, how your life has been, how that shaped you, pursuing the research interest that you wanted, and what challenges you have overcome. That is the personal story that you should write in your personal statement. The statement of purpose is academically and professionally targeted. So you have to tell what you have achieved academically and professionally, not personally. You can don't write your personal story in the SOP. How long should be the SOP and personal statement? As far as I remember, Fulbright does have a cap on the number of words that you should write in each of these statements. Probably it's typically like 2 pages long, whether it's SOP or personal statement. And um, I think USCFP has more directed information in the application package. So you should read that. If you are applying directly somewhere, then they will also have certain cap on the word count that you should write in the SOP. Okay, the other question is, can we write how I have achieved my education or only what I have achieved? Your SOP should be focused on how you have achieved your education and what you have achieved, okay, on education and professional side. Other things, other achievements, if they're not relevant to the academic direction, then don't mention them in the SOP. For example, if you are writing about if you want to pursue a degree in English literature, your experiences in physics and math or cooking skills won't be helpful, right? So write things that will tie up to your research interest that you want to pursue. Should teaching a challenging course be mentioned? Yes, because if you are teaching that course and it's relevant to the degree that you want to pursue, that will tell that you have mastered beyond just learning. You have uh, gone a step ahead and taught those challenging concepts, which have enabled you to go deeper and learn more about that research area or that area of interest. So yes, you should definitely mention all these things. If you have taken any advanced level courses in your bachelor's, like taken a few master level courses, do mention those because that will tell that you have gone beyond your requirements and have done high level studies or uh, have some certain high level experiences that will help you settle in the challenging grad school environment. Any other questions? So I think the application process package is not open at the moment, but the application package does contain very good details on what your SOP and your research statement should contain, all of the information that is required, what should be the word count for those statements. It's all given in the package. So you should read those instructions before writing your statement so that you can target all of those areas that you should be covering in your statements. So read all the instructions very carefully. If anyone has any questions, they can ask. They can even ask me later through an email.
I think since we don't have any more questions, maybe we could end.
Yeah, that's
Um,
totally fine. Um, yeah, so
so
if
everybody has
anyone,
an email address, the standard one, lahore@educationusa.org. If you guys have any questions, you can send them to me. My name is Iman Bashir, Senior Education USA Advisor at the Lahore office. Or if you want to directly contact Ms. Qandeel, you can also do that. Thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. And thank you, Ms. Qandeel, for taking out the time to conduct today's session. Really appreciate it.
thank you everyone for attending. Thank you, Iman, for having me for the session. I have put my email address in the chat box for everyone. If you have any questions, you need guidance regarding the Fulbright program and the application process, I'm more than willing to, I'll be more than happy to help anyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Iman. And I hope you all have a very good rest of the day.
Thank you so much. And the email that Miss Kandil put down is kandeel.almas, QANDEEL.ALMAS at lums.edu.pk for those of you watching the video afterwards. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take
Allah
care.
Hafiz.
Good evening. Khuda Hafiz.